May it please your Majesties, your Royal Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, when I received the information that the Nobel Committee of the Norwegian Parliament had done me the great honor of awarding to me the Nobel Peace Prize for 1897, I learned that by the statutes of the prize, I was to have the opportunity and duty of giving a lecture within 6 months of the award, and I am now here to discharge that obligation. In the first place, let me express once again my warmest gratitude to the Nobel Committee for the award. At any time, I should have received it with great gratification, but coming as it did, at a time when all workers for peace needed the utmost encouragement, it was doubly acceptable. I heard of it when I was in New York, and the news happened to arrive at the very time when the Columbia University were kind enough to give me an honorary degree. The result was that the coincidence of these two events secured for them both a very large measure of publicity, which I trust was to the advantage of the cause of peace. Certainly, it gave me an opportunity of explaining to many journalists and others the principles of the cause for which I was working and in respect of which the award was made. I owe also a deep debt of gratitude to those who in your country have confirmed the decision of the Nobel Committee and expressed their approval of it. In particular, I trust I may be allowed to express my deep obligation to their Majesties, the King and Queen of Norway, for their kindness in being present today and on the day of the solemnity on the 10th of December. If I may be allowed to say so, the close connection between the British royal family and that of Norway makes their Majesties' action the more gratifying to a British citizen like myself. I also wish to express my thanks to my old friend, Dr. Lange, who was good enough on the occasion of December the 10th to pronounce an oration about myself, which I found deeply interesting, though far too flattering. As to much of what he said, I can only say that I hope, though I do not believe, that I deserved it. One comment I should, however, like to make. He was good enough to emphasize that at the time I began working for the League and for peace, I belonged to what he called an old or aristocratic and conservative family. And he intimated that he thought it added to my merit that coming from such surroundings, I should have taken up the cause of peace. May I just say this? I was brought up from my earliest youth to believe in the enormous importance of peace. I have often heard my father, the late Lord Salisbury, say that though he didn't see how it was possible under the then existing circumstances to avoid wars altogether, yet he had never been able to satisfy himself that they were in principle morally defensible. Indeed, particularly in the later part of his life, he made more than one speech in which he expressed the hope that by some international combination, wars could in the future be prevented. He didn't hesitate to express his belief that some such organization as we have attempted and erected in the League of Nations might furnish the solution of what he conceived to be the terrific evil of war. For instance, in 1897, just 50 years ago, in a speech in which he had been defending the concert of Europe, or as he preferred to call it, the Federation of Europe. He went on to say this: "This Federation of Europe is the embryo of the only possible structure of Europe which can save civilization from the desolating effects of a disastrous war." You notice, he went on, that on all sides the instruments of destruction, the piling up of arms, is becoming greater. The instruments of death are more active and more numerous, and they are improved with every year. And each nation is bound for its own safety's sake to take part in this competition. The one hope that we have to prevent the competition from ending in a terrible effort of mutual destruction, which will be fatal to Christian civilization, the only hope we have is that the powers may gradually be brought together in a friendly spirit on all questions of difference which may arise, until at last they shall be welded in some international constitution which shall give to the world, as a result of their great strength, a long spell of unfettered and prosperous trade and continued peace. I think my audience will agree with me that that is a rather remarkable prophecy of what has actually happened, or what we are trying to bring about at the present time. You will notice that the speaker referred more than once to the danger that threatened civilization. I'm afraid there is no doubt that that danger still continues. He referred to the armaments race, which no one could avoid, but which was in itself an ultimate great danger to peace. That also is unhappily true, 10 times as true as it was in his day at the present time. And he finally referred to an international constitution, which was, on the one hand, to satisfy the unsatisfied longings of different nations, and on the other, by its great strength, was to prevent them from destroying civilization by war. Well, I thought it right just to say those few words in comment on Dr. Langer's speech. But apart from that, I need not say, nothing but gratitude to him and to the people of Norway.